What if I told you that nothing and nobody will ever hurt you again? Would you believe me? Or would a quiet voice inside you start whispering, "That's a lie. I've been hurt too many times already"? Think about it. The betrayal of someone you trusted. The sharp comment that cut you down when you were most vulnerable. The silence of someone who should have stood by you but didn't. These moments don't just pass. They leave invisible scars. And even years later, just a single word, a single glance can reopen that wound. Now let me provoke you. What if the real truth is this? Nobody has ever truly hurt you. They only awaken the pain that was already sleeping inside of you. And if that's true, then the moment you learn to master this inner battlefield, you become untouchable. That's where Carl Jung enters, because his insights were never about shallow comfort. They were about confronting the deepest shadows inside the human psyche. And today we will use his wisdom to break the chain so that nothing and nobody will ever hurt you again. This is not a video about empty affirmations. It's not about pretending that pain doesn't exist. Instead, it is a journey, a structure, a path. We will walk through 3 principles that will transform how you see hurt, fear, and vulnerability. And by the end, you won't just understand Jung's insight, you'll feel it, you'll carry it, you'll live it. But let's begin with a problem. Because maybe you felt this. Someone says a single harsh word, and it stays in your chest for hours and whole days. You try to set a boundary, but the moment someone disapproves, you collapse. Or maybe even in silence, you hear the old echo of a critic from your past, and it still dictates what you dare to do. This is the invisible hurt, not the physical wound, but the subtle poison of carrying other people's shadows inside of you. And here's the painful truth. Most people never name this. They think they are weak. They think they are too sensitive. But Jung would say, the hurt you feel is not a flaw, it is a signal. It's telling you where you are still bound by unseen patterns. Let me anchor this with a story. Carl Jung once said, "I am not what happened to me, I am what I choose to become." Imagine this. A young man grows up in a household of constant criticism. Every word of praise is poisoned with doubt. Every mistake is magnified. He carries this voice into adulthood. At work, when his boss gives feedback, he doesn't hear one voice. He hears 10 voices. He resists. He tries to silence them. He avoids challenges. Until one day he realizes the critic is no longer outside, it's inside. And in that moment he decides, if this voice is inside me, then I can transform it. He begins to separate his own truth from the inherited shadow. And slowly he becomes free. That is what Jung meant. We can't just erase the past, but we can become conscious of it. And in that consciousness, no one can ever truly hurt us again. So how do we get there? Here is the framework, 3 principles. Principle 1, hurt is a mirror. When someone wounds you, they are not planting something new in you. They are touching something that was already there. The insult only stings because somewhere, a part of you believes it. Example, someone calls you lazy. If you know in your core that you are disciplined, the word falls flat. But if you doubt yourself, it cuts deep. Application for you. Next time you feel hurt, ask yourself, what part of me agrees with this? Not to blame yourself, but to locate the old wound that needs healing. Principle 2, you are the gatekeeper. Carl Jung believed that we project enormous power onto others. We let their opinions become our jailers. But in reality, nobody's words enter your soul without your permission. Example, Imagine a stranger on the street yells something absurd at you. It barely registers. Why? Because you don't hand them authority. Yet when a family member says the same thing, you collapse. Not because it's true, but because you open the gate. Application for you. Write down 3 people whose opinions shape you the most. Now ask yourself, do I still choose to give them this power? Principle 3, integrate the shadow. The greatest hurt often comes when we deny parts of ourselves. If you refuse to admit your anger, anyone who points it out will crush you. As long as you deny your fear, any hint of danger will paralyze you. But once you integrate these parts, no attack can destabilize you. Another example for you, a woman once told Jung that she was constantly destroyed by people calling her selfish. Jung asked her, "And are you sometimes selfish?" She froze, then admitted, "Yes, I am." At that moment, the insult lost its power, because once she owned it, no one could use it against her. Application for you. Write down the qualities you most reject in yourself. Say them out loud. Feel the discomfort. Then accept. This also is a part of me, but I am strong and powerful. Now comes the challenge. Are you ready to pay the price of freedom? Because the price is this. You must stop blaming others for your wounds and start owning your response. Here's a simple 72-hour experiment. For the next 3 days, every time you feel hurt, do not react outwardly. Instead, pause. Write it down. Then ask yourself, what inside me made this hurtful? Don't suppress, don't justify, just observe. Do this and you will already be reclaiming your inner power. Now let me paint the vision. At this moment, maybe your life feels like a battlefield of hidden wounds. Every day someone can touch a nerve and destabilize you. But imagine this. You walk into the same world, but you are grounded. Words come at you, but they dissolve. Opinions appear, but you filter them. You no longer live in defense. You live in freedom. Here is the golden sentence I want you to remember. Nothing and nobody will ever hurt myself again once you reclaim the power you gave away. So here's what I want you to do. Write in the comments right now the words, "I choose power." Because writing it is the first act of reclaiming it. And if this resonated, subscribe, because in the next video, we'll go even deeper into Jung's wisdom, how to turn your shadow into your greatest source of strength. And remember this last echo, the world cannot break you unless you hand it the weapon.